I'm Brenda Klaproth, and some of you may recognize me. I was on the village board for 2 years. I live on the corner of East Market and Beach, so you may see me out there working in my garden or hanging from my 30-foot ladder painting my houses. I've moved here or maybe just walking around the village. We do a lot of that. I moved here in 1972, and I was working at IBM Poughkeepsie in Kingston, retired from there after 38 years because my daughter moved back to town, and when she left, I needed to be busy again, so I worked for an antique show promotion company. He's based in Rhinebeck, and we produced major high-end antique shows throughout the Northeast. After 5 years, I retired and spent more time working on the many nonprofit activities that interest me in Rhinebeck. For government service, I was a village trustee from November 2006 to March 2008. I was filling a term for someone, and then I ran for 1 year myself, won that election, and served that the rest of the term, and then chose not to run again. I was on the Assessment Review Board for 6 years as the chairman for 2 years, and I was on a community center feasibility task force that I believe Bill Dowden set up, and also on a committee to see if we could find a grocery store to move into the IGA when they moved, because it was a major void when that happened, and but unfortunately it didn't work because the footprint's just too small for a market. I have been involved with many local not-for-profits. I'm a current member and past officer of the Equipment Resource Center, the Museum of Rhinebeck History, the Historical Society, Equipment Resource, the DIR, Chancellor Livingston DIR, and also Southlands. In fact, I've been involved with Southlands so long that even if anybody remembers, the county wanted to put a dump in there many years ago, and I was on that committee called Stop Our Southlands, Save Our Southlands. And I volunteer at the Northern Industrial Hospital thrift store 1 day a week, and the hospital auxiliary. Member of the Rhinebeck Garden Club. I create a monthly event calendar of nonprofit events in Rhinebeck. I volunteer at the Rhinebeck Reformed Church Food Pantry, and I volunteered for many years at the Chamber of Commerce booth, so I understand how important tourism is to Rhinebeck. I've been asked by many people why I'm running. The very first reason was because Mirrodin and our two opponents wanted a no-contest election. And a fixed election isn't fair to the community, and the issues don't get aired nor discussed. And I want to keep Rhinebeck, the outstanding community that it is. We have a very thriving core downtown that really comes from the tourists more than anything else. The events at the fairgrounds, the old Rhinebeck Aerodrome, the Historic District, the Beekman Arms, the Delamater House, the restaurants, all this add to the economic and the reason for why people come here. And I want to make sure that continues, and we want to do all we can to make sure it does. The quality of our life, of our institutions like the hospitals, the libraries, the restaurants, the shops, and to make sure that we allow people to make a living here through competitive communication infrastructures and internet and self-service, so that they can work from home and live in the community. And also I want to make sure that the public is informed. I think sometimes some of the things that have been, some of the proposals haven't been really known by many of the community members, and they're not taking care of they're not using the institutional memory of the community. And finally, I'd like to make sure that the Historic District stays represented. Terry Gibson lives in the Historic District today, but he's running for the New York State Senate against Senator Sland, and he'll be busy campaigning for that. And if he wins, there will be no one representing there could be no one representing the Historic District. We want to make sure we continue to be business and tourist friendly, and things to look at is maybe the sign laws should be revisited to make sure that they really reflect reality. If they do, then enforce them. If they don't, then let's get rid of them. We've been talking for years to provide a public restroom for weekends. Possibly this proposed, if we do build an addition on to Village Hall, we could do one with an exterior entrance so that could be open on weekends. And I would like to see the crosswalk walks continued that Mayor Cunningham started under his administration, and to continue with the green initiative that have been introduced by Trustee Trout.
I'm Nick Staley. My official name is Homer Knickerbocker Staley Jr., and I'm a native of Rhinebeck. I'm proud to be the 6 generations of Staleys that have lived here. I'm pretty positive that all of my ancestors worked very hard to keep Rhinebeck the way it is, and had something to say about how we are doing today. I'm a graduate of Rhinebeck High School. I'm a veteran of the U.S. Army. I was in from 1961 to 1967. I have a degree in business administration from Dutchess Community College, and I enjoyed 30 years of service at IBM, where I retired as a senior program manager in the development laboratory, large systems. During that 30 years, I learned a great deal about management and people, and working with people and negotiating. And I've taken those skills to take over my dad's business, Staley Real Estate. And I also am a landlord here in the area, and I own a company called Knickerbocker Properties. I am involved with many organizations, mainly my heart and soul, which is Ferncliff Forest, where I'm the Secretary Treasurer and the Ranger. And I belong to the Rhinebeck Rotary, the Rhinebeck Chamber of Commerce, the American Legion, and was very fortunate to serve the people of Rhinebeck as a town councilman for 4 years, where I was in charge of the transfer station and police that we use, the village police and sometimes the sheriff, to patrol the town. And I decided to run because I felt that our current leaders were not being sensitive to our business district and our economy, and I was totally convinced that the Neuterker event law was not the right thing for Rhinebeck. I saw no evidence, and no evidence was presented that we need such a law. I thought it was counterproductive to our major economic engine, which is tourism, and I felt strongly enough to throw my hat in the ring and give the folks in Rhinebeck a choice when they go to the polls on the 20th. I also am opposed to building a police station on the current village footprint. I would ask the village trustees to put that to a permissive referendum to see if the village people want that. But I think it's actually counterproductive, and that at one point we have to make some changes, and someone's got to move out of this footprint. I believe my choice would be, and I don't know if we could make it happen, but I believe that the fire company, which needs more space and is going to need more equipment in the future, needs to get in another location, and we could possibly do that sometime in the future in cooperation with another government agency. I'm also opposed to violating the 2% tax cap that Albany has imposed on towns and villages. I would like to find a way to achieve not going over 2% by consolidating services, and want more emphasis put on money saving and cost saving adventures between the village and the town. So that's the reason I'm running, and I'm excited about it, and both Brenda and I are working very hard to meet everyone in the village, and we look forward to a good, clean race.